A little while ago, I made a video about my favorite ships in the next step and I thought I should revisit the relationship aspect of the show. So today, I'm going to rank my least favorite couples from TNS. While my top 10 ships video included both canon and non-pairings I liked, this video will only include canon couples. There are way too many non-canon ships in this show. This video would be at least a week long if I were to name and rank every duo. James and Riley. Before the Gi Lee ship has hunted me down, I don't hate them together. They have had many sweet moments with each other, and their opposites attract dynamic is amazing. I loved them in season 1 and personally, their relationship, despite all the drama, really carried a generous chunk of season 3 for me. They obviously do have their good moments. But my question is, how are Riley and James still dating? They have had so much drama, and yes, I'm talking mainly about the cheating. How can these two be so-called soulmates, while both have been unfaithful to the other? I hate how the writers smacked this BS true love nonsense onto their relationship, just as a reason to why they can never permanently break up. If you cheat on someone, you clearly don't love them. They shouldn't have got back together all those times they did because now, I'm not a big fan of them. I can't even treasure their relationship in season 1 for what it was, knowing what happens in season 2 and season 4. For me, the writers completely ruined how I viewed this couple. LaTroy and Sloane. I did not care about these two as individuals in season 4. Neither did I care for the love triangle and their feelings for one another. They didn't necessarily do anything wrong, I just was not feeling it. Their development was a bit too cliche for me personally. It wasn't exciting to watch, just lackluster and even tedious at times. A much more interesting storyline was the one to do with LaTroy and his dad. Their scenes discussing his dad were where their chemistry and care for one another really shined. Their connection in those moments were way better than any romantically coded scene. They should have just stayed friends in my opinion, and Sloane should have had her own individual storylines delved into more. I did adore them in the few scenes they had together in season 5 though, so I'll give them that. Henry and Amy. I talked about them in my top ships video in depth, so let me just summarize, because I don't want to give them the time of day. They too should have stayed friends. It was refreshing to see an opposite gender friendship as close as theirs. Every platonic moment of them to top the romantic moments. All this drama was unnecessary. And all of that, just for them to break up. Rachel and Ozzy. For how much I really hate these two together, I definitely thought they would be in my top 5 least favorite couples. Ozzy should have just had an unrequited crush on her, he learns to move on and these two become unexpected best friends. I truly do not understand why these two were actually made endgame, and I think it can only be due to fan service. I think the writers just wanted to please the fans, but as a fan, I can say, I'm the opposite of pleased. Their dynamic was great in season 5. Ozzy was just an unserious new A trooper, and he always tried to use pickup lines on Rachel. It was funny, cute even. But then he kept trying to slyly get her to like him every season, even though Rachel isn't interested in dating him. He even gets called out by Heath for his delusional behavior. It was kind of reminding me of how Eldon acted towards Emily. And then in season 8, Rachel chooses Ozzy over Shad? It makes zero sense. She chose Ozzy over someone she grew up with, someone she trusted instantly after reuniting with, someone who inspired her idea to create Step Inside, someone who wrote a literal love song for her. I'm sorry, but even if I had a Maria in my life, and found out Shad decided to sign under her, I wouldn't care. He's shown that he genuinely cherishes Rachel, and wouldn't do something intentionally bad to her or her friends. Hate that the show tries to paint Shad as a sellout, just because he wants to live his dream, and I hate how Rachel handled everything. Emily was right.
Somebody is gonna have to sit down with Rachel and talk to her about her taste in boyfriends.
In my perfect world, Rich as he doesn't exist. Lily and Kingston. I had so much hope for Lily and Kingston. When I saw the promo for season 7, I was so excited for this couple. Even though they have very similar personalities, I thought they would complement each other well. Maybe even humble each other when it came to dance. However, the writers basically ran in the other direction. I can't even begin to describe how annoying they were. Even at the start of their relationship, they were embarrassed about being together, which doesn't set a good precedent. The bickering only made me hate them more. We did not need an on and off couple in this show, especially not with characters who have some of the biggest egos I have seen in this series. The writers could tell they made a massive mistake, so they tried to patch it up in season 8, but it didn't really seem to work, and then after a few episodes, they break up, but for real this time, not like the other 100 times. Despite how well the breakup scene was acted, how the lighting set the tone and the choreography, I still felt nothing for this couple. It feels like such a waste, because from the very start I, and many fans saw the potential of these two. Noah and Amanda. For the past 8 years, I must have been living under a rock, because I didn't know how popular this couple was before until recently. To put it bluntly, I've always hated Amanda. It was very out of the blue, like they basically didn't interact the previous season, so I didn't even think of the possibility of this pairing. It's mostly the maturity level that makes me dislike Amanda. A lot of their scenes together are framed as sweet girlfriend giving her clueless boyfriend advice, but to me, it just sounds like a mother trying to help out her son. Like, a lot of the dialogue doesn't inherently show that these two characters like each other romantically. I don't know. Their dynamic is just giving me familial vibes, and low-key, this ship makes me feel queasy because of that. Amanda is way more mentally and emotionally mature than Noah. It feels like she just found him physically attractive, because I find it hard to believe that a character like Amanda ever liked Noah for his personality. It wasn't until I rewatched season 4 when I realized Noah was actually so silly. His season 5 and 6 characterization is completely different. Season 4, he was goofy, childish even. If him and Amanda first got together in season 5 or 6, maybe I would be more down for this pairing. Eldon and Michelle. This couple was so weak. There was so much build up to their relationship in season 1, but it completely breaks down pretty early in season 2, mostly thanks to Eldon being a pushover. Realistically, we hardly saw them as an actual couple by the time they got together. It had just previously been a lot of Michelle going back and forth with her feelings and Eldon emotionally cheating on Emily. It didn't really seem like each of them knew what they wanted, and I personally found their interactions boring to watch after a while. I was never invested in their relationship, and never will be. Riley and Alfie. This relationship makes me uncomfy. I've gone into depth about why I don't like Alfie before. The teacher-student dynamic, the power imbalances, the unprofessionalism. Not to mention the fact Alfie was a homewrecker and really cheated on James. Nothing about their relationship was positive, and it was a complete waste of a whole season. To me, it seemed like Riley was fascinated about Alfie being from royalty, but didn't actually like him. She only liked the idea of him, and had insane expectations for what their relationship should look like. Also, she completely played with Alfie's feelings. In the end, despite him destroying a relationship, I felt awful for Alfie. He was wronged by her so many times, but let it slide every time, because he liked her so much. Alfie deserved better. Eldon and Emily. Yeah, this relationship was not it. Eldon was too obsessed with Emily and Emily took full advantage of this. It was uncomfortable to watch. Like yes, they had some nice moments, but nothing could make me forget how vile they acted towards each other for a lot of the time. Eldon didn't respect Emily as an actual human being. If he did, he would have stopped asking her out every day. He instead saw her as, in some way, superior. Sometimes, he gave off major incel vibes because he ignored when enough was enough. And as I said, fully aware at how desperate Eldon was, Emily literally led him on, only for her to then humiliate him in front of everyone. It was a surprise to me when they actually got together. But of course, Eldon had to ruin it even more by emotionally cheating on Emily with Michelle, wait a while to tell her, and then break up with Emily before their final regionals competition. What a brutal end to such a toxic build-up and toxic relationship. Amy and Ty. Yeah, they sucked. Firstly, why does Ty exist? I know it was to get in between Henry and Amy, but why did the writers decide they needed him? He thinks he's being all cheeky and funny when he's just actually annoying. Something about his presence irritates me. I don't like his attitude, I don't like the way he views and treats Henry, and I don't like the fact he doesn't respect Amy and what's important to her. He's the reason why I hate this ship. I hate Ty. And as for Amy, the writers couldn't stop giving her boyfriends. She's had 4 in total during her 4-season run of The Next Step, and while Ty was only the second at this time, retrospectively, that is an insane amount of boyfriends. We did not need her to be involved in that many relationship arcs. The storylines that focused on her wants and weaknesses were way more enjoyable to watch than any of these. Thank you for watching. Tell me your least favorite TNS couples in the comments and I will be back soon with another video.